So in this episode, I'm going to talk about this coronavirus in China. So recently, there is a lot of tension inside of China. So people are pretty united to fight against the virus. Hope China will get better and better in the as spring is coming, and the virus will be defeated. So I wanna talk about what I've experienced in China as a Chinese citizen during the past actually 10 days, 11 days. Because although the virus was coming out in December, but not until the government officially announced the virus, people from the other provinces never heard of the news. Although at first a few days after the virus burst out, we randomly read some news about this Wuhan, uh, a seafood market, but nobody thought the issue was that serious. And so everybody kind of going outside normally without facial mask, and you know so I went back to my home because it's Chinese New Year. So there's a tradition of Chinese people going back to home. For my New Year holidays, it's 2 weeks because so the holiday duration also ranges from jobs to jobs. Some people take 2 weeks off. Some people only take 3 days off. So basically, I worked for a standalone company, so I took a 2 week vacation. So on January, uh, I use because people for Chinese New Year people use lunar calendar, but it's around January 20 something. I 1 day before Chinese New Year, so I went back to my hometown, which is Anhui province, and even until that time, nobody was taking the virus seriously. People just know, okay, there is a virus. It's pretty bad. It kind of make you get fever, make you can't breathe, make your lung, uh, uh, white. They call it whitening. Whiten your lung is whitened, something like that, under the X-ray machine. So basically, nobody had a. At least for me, I never thought take it. I never took it seriously. So I thought this virus thing is very far away from my personal life. So I went back to Anhui very normally. So on the second day, I got to my hometown, and this news coming out saying, okay, this virus, so they sent a professor, really like really high ranking professor. He's like how do you say academic. So in China, there are around hundreds of academics, which are top professors, top scientists in different scientific fields. So this professor called Zhongnan San. Zhongnan San was involved in 2003 SARS, and he is apparently very experienced, and he went to Wuhan for research, for checking all the statuses. And so then the news kind of started to explode. So Zhongnan San suggested as the top central government to shut down the city, to block the city from and block people from going out and coming in. So basically, yes, that's when everybody kind of get tension, started to feel this, okay, this virus is getting serious. But even until that time, so personally, I still hadn't taken the issue that serious, because I still feel like it's still very far away from me, because I live in Anhui province, which is not even a neighboring province to Hubei, which is where Wuhan city locates in. So I live in Anhui, and I thought, no, uh, not a big deal. So so it was actually on the second day of this, after Chinese New Year, no, Lunar New Year. That's how we call it, January, lunar calendar, January 2nd, the second day of New Year. Then the government kind of local, actually I'm saying local communities started, so because in China it's socialism, and the regime is up to bottom very fast. It's a vertical bureaucracy, so everything you know uh, works really fast. So on the one central government, so this news spread it out really fast over time. So remember, I got back to my hometown one day before Chinese New Year, Lunar New Year, and one day after Chinese Lunar New Year, which is the first day and the second day of the New Year. And this, all of a sudden, in my province, in my county, the local community started to they use a speaker on the street. It's really allowed. These local government officials, they either use a speaker or driving a car with speaker on the top of the car, saying, urging people to stay at home without going anywhere. So usually we would have you know, we would have, all kinds of parties. It's like a parties, gathering together to celebrate New Year, going out to restaurants, or either, we invite parents, we invite relatives together, either we go their places or they go to our places. There is a rule, okay, I'm not talking about that. There's a social rule of you who to visit and who will visit you, but this that's not this video is about. So so this year, so on the second day of the Lunar New Year, uh, that's when usually this time of kind of activities start. So then all these people with speakers on the street telling, yelling to people, okay, everybody will have to cancel all these activities and have to stay at home. So that's okay. That's kind of my first kind of this virus first, like officially getting involved with my personal life. So I thought, okay, initially I still thought, okay, okay, no big deal. I was actually quite happy, because I'm a pretty shy guy. I don't want to participate involved in all kinds of activities, saying, oh, hello to this, hello to that. I always feel pretty frustrating talking to, because I only get back once a year. So all these relatives are, to be honest, I'm not very familiar with. So I was actually really happy initially on the first day, for first or 2 days. But then, as so Chinese government puts the infected population, in fact, number of infected people uh, online, and you can see, how people are suspected infected people, how many people are infected people, how many people died, and how many people are cured. And people, that's when I got scary, because the number of infected increased almost 30% every day. So only within 1 week after the government urging people to stay at home, the number raises from 3,000 to 20,000, the number of infected. So people's mentality kind of also experienced the changed gradually. Initially people were happy. I was pretty happy, and also holiday got extended. There will be 1 more week of my vacation. So on the first 2 days, I was like, wow, okay, I stay at home. And then there's a shortage of facial masks everywhere. Cannot buy and nowhere to buy, and everybody's demanding facial masks and vegetables also, but for a short amount of time. So after a while, there's a supply of vegetables and daily life supplies. But things changed gradually. People's mentality also changed, so people got scared afterwards. So initially I was happy, then I got scared after seeing all the numbers, and uh, then I started, okay, to really checking what is this virus. How can I get avoid of being infected, and if I got infected, how can I get away with it? Because not only me, my father has a lung issue, so he might be the person who can be infected easily. So I was really really concerned, and so basically we stayed at home for 8 days. Right now, I moved from my hometown to the city where I work, and still staying at home inside, not allowing the entire Chinese is blocked up, so nobody's getting out unless it is really really necessary. So let's hope and pray for a bit better future. For hope this virus can be defeated in a short amount of time, and that's what I have experienced during the past 10 days. I think it's around 11 days. So much things. It's a little bit overwhelming to me.